What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to review and talk about Ali, which is a 2001 film that is obviously about Muhammad Ali, and I thought now would be the perfect time to review this movie since Muhammad Ali just very recently passed away, which sucks. And also, up until this point, I had not seen Ali, this movie, so this is the perfect chance. Now, this is directed by Michael Mann, and in this movie, we don't really follow, I guess, the whole life of Muhammad Ali, but we do follow probably the biggest time in his life. This 10-year period between 1964 and 1974, where he was on top of the world. At the very beginning of the movie, he's just winning his first heavyweight title, and you're seeing his rise in boxing and how confident he was on top of the world, the various women that he's been with over the years, until he runs into some troubles, and it could cost him his career, but he obviously has to bounce back from that at the end of the movie. Now, what I thought of this film was, I enjoyed this movie. I did. I liked it. I thought it was good. Now, I think it could have been great. It could have been like a perfect film, and it just falls a little short of that, just a little short of it, but it's still a good movie, enjoyable movie. I did feel like I learned a lot about Muhammad Ali that I didn't know before, which is what these movies should be about. Let's talk about Will Smith as Muhammad Ali, because I'm sure some people, what do you think of when you think of Will Smith? You think of funny, charismatic, fun type of character, actor. But in this movie, he really commits. He does a good job making himself look like Muhammad Ali, sounding like him, talking like him, acting like him. Sure, the accent or the voice that he's putting on sometimes can come off as parody, just sometimes, but still, I thought he went for it. And I think he embodied Muhammad Ali in a lot of ways. You could tell he took this role seriously. He really wanted to prove himself as an actor, go at a different level as an actor, and I think he did that. My only issue really with the movie, and it isn't Will Smith's fault, it's not, it's just that this movie, it starts with him already winning the world title from Sonny Liston, and we just kind of jump into his life right from there. We don't get anything of his upbringing or his childhood home life, or why did he want to become a boxer, or what was his influences, or what made him sort of develop the psychology he does, because I love when he talks trash to his opponents. Now, maybe some people hear me say that and go, boring, yawn, you don't want to see some of that backstory, but I personally did, just some of it. You know, I'm not saying we need an hour of childhood flashback stuff, but it would have been nice just to get something to make me really feel like I knew him as a person before he was already in boxing, before he already won the world title, before he was already the man. I just would have liked to have seen some of psychology, just some of why he is who he is. But maybe that's just not what this movie was about. This movie was about this 10-year period, like I said. I've known Muhammad Ali, at least from clips that I've seen of him, where he is overly cocky and over the top. Now, you do see that with Will Smith, you do. Just him talking shit before every opponent, you could tell it pisses them off. A lot of them have this look on their face like, motherfucker, I'm going to kill you, just because you're annoying me right now. So I thought that was great. I never really understood or knew about the whole Cassius Clay thing. I mean, that's his real birth name, but he denounces that name when he joins the Nation of Islam. And that's where he gets the Muhammad Ali name from. Something that I'm sure many people know, but I never really thought about it, or never really understood where that comes from. We see him being friends with Malcolm X, which I thought was interesting. Malcolm X is played by Mario Van Peebles, and you get some stuff of them being friends, but as Malcolm X was being slowly pushed out of the Nation of Islam, so wasn't Muhammad Ali. Sort of deteriorating their friendship. And when Malcolm X does get assassinated in this movie, they redo the scene or they redo the moment. But because I had just seen Malcolm X, the movie with Denzel Washington very recently, it didn't, you can't beat that. The way how he dies in that movie is so intense and violent that when you see it here, it's just like, oh, okay, here's that moment. So, okay, that's fine. You get Jamie Foxx as one of his, not managers, but coaches. And this was one of the first times I think Jamie Foxx did a serious role. I think now we're used to him at least going back and forth more often, doing a serious role, or doing a real dramatic role, getting an Oscar nomination or something, or even winning an Oscar, but then going back to comedy, because he can do that. But here was the first time that he really did take a role like this, where he stepped out and showed people what he was made of. If anything, like, I know Will Smith was impressive, and he impressed a lot of people, but I think the real breakout performance is Jamie Foxx. Jon Voight as Howard Cosell. I didn't even realize it was Jon Voight until I looked it up, and I was like, holy fuck, that was Jon Voight? Like, the makeup and prosthetics that they put on him to make him look like this guy was insane. I just thought this is like one of his best performances, because you didn't know it was him. Jada Pinkett Smith, who was married to Will Smith at the time, was playing his first wife, Muhammad Ali's first wife, in this movie. So seeing them together as a couple in a movie was different. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they've ever been a couple in a movie before. I could be wrong. But that was just almost fascinating because they have great chemistry. It shows here. But then he ends up with more women as years and years go by. Some of the other characters, you get Jeffrey Wright, who honestly is kind of wasted. He doesn't do a whole lot here. But Joe Morton, I really enjoy as an actor. He's a great actor, so he gets some stuff to do here. I think the most interesting stuff, like, I know I complained about maybe not getting enough like backstory or enough, just motivations of Muhammad Ali, whatever, fine. But the most interesting stuff in this film was when he gets drafted for the Vietnam War, but he denies it. He turns it down. He doesn't want to fight in the war. And I'm sure some people can misconstrue that as, oh, he's a coward because he doesn't want to fight in the war, which is quite the opposite. Actually, when he does give his reason for why he doesn't want to be in this war, why he doesn't want to fight for a country that is very racist towards black people and doesn't stick up for black people, so why should I go and give my life for that, or fight against Chinese people that I don't have a problem with? Like, that was really interesting to get that side of him, to get that part of his story, and that he did fight it, and that he did risk his boxing license and risk prison time. Just, he didn't care. He thought that way of thinking was worth it. So I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed seeing each boxing match because it was shot very well. Michael Mann, like, I do think the pacing's a little weary, especially at the beginning, how we just sort of jump right into this. But for a 2.5-hour movie, Michael Mann does a decent job keeping me interested. I mean, I'm sure this life story, it wasn't hard to make interesting. His return fight after all of the government BS against Joe Frazier, or the very end, the Rumble in the Jungle, the title fight that he has with George Foreman. Like, the boxing fights were shot well, good dramatic, good music. So again, I enjoyed this film. I did. Could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been like just more about Muhammad Ali? I think so. I think we could have got more out of it. But all in all, for what it is, I can say this was a good movie. Good performance from Will Smith. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this film? Did it do the great Muhammad Ali justice? Do you too wish that we got more of his backstory? Did you think Will Smith did a good job? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!